let's make this very short. Not very short, not lengthy, okay? So our topic for today is comparing between ribose sugar and ribulose sugar. Which among them are healthy to us? Okay? So, so these are not really that common sugars compared to glucose and fructose. So, and lactose as well. These are more complex. So this has been studied in organic chemistry also. Okay. So which among them, which of the two sugars are very important? So we can say which is bad or not like that. So we need to discuss, right? Okay. So makita ninyo. So this, okay, ribose sugar versus ribulose sugar. Oh my gosh. Sounds not familiar, right? But I think ribose sugars are familiar in studying the cells or the nucleus. Okay. This is very, very important in our genetic information. I already revealed. Okay. So see like that. Okay, so the formula, the general formula of ribose sugar is C6, okay, C10H5, okay, on the spot, right? C5H10O5, okay, like that. So what I remembered in my brain cells that the sugars are usually have the same carbon atoms and oxygen atoms, and the center will be varied, something like that. So I remember the city. Okay, it's gonna be ribose and also ribulose is C5H10O5. Oh my gosh, what did you observe? They have the same general chemical formula. So these are isomers with each other. Okay, meaning the same general or chemical formula but differ a little bit of application. Okay, how they are going to applicable in our day-to-day life or in our process industries or whatever. Okay, get the point. So because isomers are not really saying that the same chemical formula but different application, it may have the same also functions but vary also in another functions, but the key point there, they have the same chemical formula. Okay, things like that, because the applications can be the same or not or common to each other, things like that. It will not be always different. Okay, but most of them will have a different application or uses. Okay, so let's make this clear. Okay, because others also are saying the same chemical formula but differ in their application or like the blah blah blah. So, but it is really saying different structural orientation. That's acceptable. Okay, but not the application and the uses. Okay, that's isomers. Okay, that's isomers are really focusing in organic chemistry, but isotopes focusing in general chemistry. Okay, isotopes and elements that have the same atomic number and the same number of protons but differ in their mass numbers, right? But isomers, the same chemical formula or general chemical formula but differ or have different application or has common application but really sure different structural orientation. Okay, so what we mean by structural orientation? Meaning we will try to have the different structural chemical projections. Okay, did your organic chemistry teacher taught you how to do this? If you have organic chemistry, and this is a little bit last part of the general chemistry. Usually in the general chemistry lecture, you will have to study a little bit of introduction in organic chemistry in the last part. But since not all teachers and instructors could reach the last part of the book, okay, so that's why it will end up only in the middle, a little bit 3/4 of the book, but others also it's gonna be 2/3, but it's impossible you can finish all the chapters in the books, really, based on my experience. Okay, it should be in the, you know, in the half, a little bit, 3/4 like that, but you could not finish the whole book. That's why the teachers are keep on tracking fast their discussion. The most important they will try to discuss. Okay, but what is really you know, ironic, examination will focus on not on the most discussed well. Okay, you get the point. They will be focusing on the topics that are not really discussed most of the times. This is the trick. Get the point? In passing examination, especially sciences, they will not focus on the basic. Okay, they will go to the little bit complex, in which the students are not familiarizing with. Though there are also basic questions will come out, but there's also some, okay, that are not really that common. So that's the reason why it's not easy to pass and science examination. Okay, you get the point. Things like that. Okay, now going back to ribose versus ribulose sugars, both have the same chemical formula, C5H10O5. Okay, so it's gonna be like that. Get the point, mga talanga. So this is gonna be a natural processed sugar by plants, and also natural processed sugar inside our body. Things like that. So the ribulose is more on the plants, okay, natural process on the plants, and ribose is more on the natural process inside our body that could be used in our ribonucleic acid or our DNA. Our DNA needs sugar, and this is the type of sugar we need in our genes, genetic information. Okay, you get the point. So sugar is always in our DNA. You cannot remove that sugar. And that is ribose, sugar manufactured by ribosomes. Ribosome is in the part of the nucleus, right? And then there are two parts there, the endoplasmic reticulum. The external endoplasmic reticulum will carry these ribose sugars going to our, you know, DNA, things like that. Things to review, right? Review, right? Get the point? Ganon! Okay, so mag-start ka sa... Ay, naku, nakakaloka. Mag-start ka sa empirical formula. Okay. What is an empirical formula, Sir Sotero? Okay, like that. If you really love chemistry, if you love science, then you can easily understand that empirical formula is very, very important, because it is the simplest formula to get the identity of a compound. Something like that, okay? The simplest chemical formula in order for us to obtain the real identity of a compound, whether it be an organic compound or an organic compound or molecular compound or ionic compound, right? Okay, it's gonna be like that. Okay, now what is the empirical formula for this? So we have, so be careful also, because there's also a similar with another compound. There's so many chemicals in my mind and chemical reactions, and I cannot release in a single moment. Oh my gosh. So this is really the world of chemical engineering, right? Sometimes you cannot really express, and we can keep that in our minds only. That's why I need to do the vlog, and I can share my too much information regarding chemicals. Okay, get the point. Things like that. Okay, we have the empirical formula CH2O. Oh my gosh, it looks like a formaldehyde, right? You remember formaldehyde is a suspected carcinogen compound used in embalming to remove the smell. If somebody will die, they will put a formalin. The formalin is coming from formaldehyde, also related, okay? Things like that. Just like glycerin, okay? Glycerin is related to glyceraldehyde, related also to glycerol, things like that. So formalin is related to formaldehyde. So these are suspected carcinogen substances, but they use this in embalming. Embalming, when somebody's died, they will remove the blood, things like that, because too much smell when somebody will die. So they will put formalin, okay, coming from the formaldehyde. So this is also the formula of formaldehyde, CH2O. Okay, so I will explain why. Okay, for example, like this. Okay, so aldehyde, things, tadalat, okay, tadalat, ganon. May tadalat talaga sa Sotero, yes. Tadalat, tadalat, like this. So this is the simplest aldehyde, the formaldehyde, but sad to say, this is carcinogenic. Okay, the simplest aldehyde is very bad to our health. Okay, so take two atoms of hydrogen. This one, check. One atom of oxygen, check. One atom of carbon, check. Oh, this is CH2O. But take note, this is also the empirical formula of a sugar. So sometimes very confusing, right? Then that is bad. But actually, that is also the empirical formula of carbohydrates. Get the point. So don't be confused and don't be mixed up. Okay, these things they're trying to get in the examination because there's a confusion. You get the point? CH2O is the basic formula of formaldehyde and also the empirical formula of sugar. So amazing, right? Okay, you get the point. So in order to differentiate the empirical formula of a sugar or a carbohydrate, okay. So when you mean of sugar in a layman's term, automatically that is carbohydrate, okay? Get the point because all sugars are carbohydrates and all carbohydrates will be converted to sugars. Get the point? So it's just the same. Okay, so we have I said a while ago CH2O, so it will become CnH2nOn. We just put N as N is our unknown number of atoms, just like algebra. We let X as unknown, blah blah blah, so and so. So, for example, function of X and Y, let X is an unknown variable to solve the equation. Things like that, or the word problem equation, something like that. It's the same thing also here. We need to assume that N is the number of atoms. Number of atoms. Okay, like that. Since I said C5H10O5, this is a pentose sugar because there are 5 atoms of carbon. So pentose sugar. So when we mean of sugar, there are 2 classifications. Could either be it belongs to aldose sugar or ketose sugar. Okay, for example, you will remember this also because sometimes it will come up. 2 classifications, you can say by default that is ketose sugar, okay, like that, or aldose sugar. For example, if I will eat rice, I will eat cabbage, I will eat bread, so what sugar will be found there? So basically glucose. What is a glucose? An aldose sugar or a ketose sugar? Things like that. So we need to classify it so that mapasok siya sa banga if it is good or not. Okay? You get the point? So ketose sugar, aldose sugar. So what is responsible in your metabolism? The ketose sugar or the glucose sugar? Then you need to identify what will be burned first and what will be burned last. You get the point? So if I will do the intermittent fasting, what sugars will be burned first? It is really an aldose sugar or a ketose sugar. And what are those aldose sugars? So sugar is glucose is an aldose sugar or a ketose sugar? And we need to find out. Okay, right? Listen to this block. Okay, things like that. Okay, so we have aldose sugar, okay, and ketose sugar, okay. Now, okay, so glucose, aldose sugar, or ketose cannot understand you about that. It will not help. It is the structural formula by representing it by either by Fisher projection formula and also Haworth. It's just the same. Haworth projection formula. Okay? So usually the biochemistry or the biochemists or the biologists are the one who will use this Haworth projection, meaning there's a chain, a closed chain, a polygon, a pentagon, usually a hexagon, really, okay, contains of 6 carbon atoms. But in this case, these are pentagon because, as I told you, pentose sugar, 5 carbon atoms. So that's why some students like me, I avoid really the Haworth because it's not easy to understand. Though I can understand, not so complex, okay, not detailed, but I can understand a little bit, but not really compared to the Fisher projection. Okay? Especially in examination too much. In organic chemistry, makalibog siya because there's a lot of closed chain, aromatic, what do you call this one? Aromatic hydrocarbon. Okay, aromatic cyclic hydrocarbon, because there's also an aliphatic hydrocarbon that composed only of a carbon and hydrogen chain, but not necessarily a closed chain. Okay, just like structural formula with carbon and hydrogen, blah blah blah, so and so. Ganon. Okay, could it be 90 degrees, something like that. The angle of the chemical reactions are very important in organic chemistry. Planar, trigonal planar, pyramidal projection like that, trigonal projection. There's an angle you need to find out, okay? So it's not really that easy, right? Okay, so you can picture that out in using a computer, okay, by having the absorbance of the light, and then you can see in the screen what's really the structure, and then you can get really you can see really what's the structure in the monitor of the computer. Okay, you get the point. Ganon, advanced quantitative analysis. Okay, it's not the old type. Okay, you get the point. It's not conventional, but the latest one. Okay, mga balangakang hitad. Okay, na siya ang ribose. Aldose or ketose? Okay, now we go back to, if I discuss something, it will never finish immediately because I have so many things in my mind. Okay, you get the point? So I'm not focusing in vlogging alone. I have my work. I cannot discuss detail too much about the technicalities or the aspects of chemistry. Okay, you get the point? But there's still a lot, guys, I need to share. Okay, get the point? So CnH2 and say, so this can also can be used algebra also in this. CnH2 and then carbohydrates. Okay, carbohydrates. Okay, we need to scrutinize. Okay, what really this all about? Okay, carbo is derived from carbon. Okay, actually carbohydrates is just a combination terminology between two substances. Okay, with one process known as hydration. So hydrates are the substance produced after hydration. Okay, meaning you are introducing water in your chemical reaction. Okay, or you're producing water in your reaction, or you chemically combine water in your chemical reaction. That's automatically hydration. It's not hydrolysis, because hydrolysis you need to add salt. Here in hydration, it doesn't mean that salt only. You have to provide another substance in a combination of water when you call that as a hydration process. Now, for example, gypsum is a hydrated compound. Hydrated compound of calcium sulfate. Okay, gypsum with times 2 moles of water, something like that. So that's only my second knowledge, but it's gonna be sure that's calcium sulfate hydrated with water. Okay, so things like the same also here with carbohydrates. So this carbon hydrated with water because there's hydrate. Okay, so meaning hydration, the product of the hydrate plus carbohydrates. Now, how can we identify water in here? So it's in the empirical formula that you can extract the water appearance, not in this terminology, because this is general terminology, statement only. This is not a chemical formula, so you cannot, if you will not break down that into formula, then you cannot understand where is water can be found, things like that. You get the point? But since we know already by statement that hydrates can be produced by hydration, then water will come in as a carbohydrate. So every time you eat carbohydrates, this is the basic concept. Every day you eat carbohydrates, you will automatically convert that to water into your body. Okay, you get the point? Not necessarily you will drink. Okay, nakakaloka.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Hello mga palangga kong hitad. Okay, so not necessarily you will drink water in order you can produce water. Even though you will eat carbohydrates, you can produce water automatically. You get the point? Ganon. Okay, so ako i-explain. Okay, welcome to my science world. This is like an engineer Sotero Nepomuceno Jr. Okay, come, let's enjoy biochemistry and health science. Okay, go back to ribose versus ribulose. So time check because I need to sleep because I have work tomorrow. So I need to, too much tasks. Okay, like that. Okay, I still have some time. Shut up. Okay. So, Dugay ko makasugod guys, no? Okay, ako yung itoki ba, di ba? Ganon. Okay, so if we have CN, oh my gosh, CnH2n, and then O, okay, ON. Where's the water here? Where's the water here? Since you say carbohydrates, hydrate is the substance produced or water. Okay, so we need algebra here. Common denominator, common. C, N, the common of here is N, right? So, close and open parenthesis N times H2O. So it's just, we apply algebra in chemical formula. Okay, so H2O, close and open parenthesis N is just equal to H2NON. So that's the time we can really distinguish there's water in carbohydrates. Okay, you got the point? Cn, close and open parenthesis, water, times N. Now, for example, if June will eat, rice today, for example, yellow rice, and I will go outside my room and I will inhale oxygen. Can June produce water inside his body or not? Yes. Even though you will not drink water, you can produce water because the carbohydrates will react with oxygen gas through rapid oxidation. Okay, so let's say glucose, C6H12O6 plus oxygen gas you breathe in the air, it will produce water inside your body. As I told you, not necessarily you will drink water to produce water when you eat carbohydrates. You automatically deliver water inside your body. Okay, that's very clear. Okay, so water plus, okay, carbon dioxide. And the carbon dioxide will be released when you exhale. You inhale the oxygen, you exhale the carbon dioxide, but the water will remain inside your body. Okay, this is the chemical reaction. Now, if you drink water after eating the kabosh, the more you will produce water inside your body. Okay, because there's already water, even though you will not drink water, there's already, by theory, you can produce already watery. Okay, how much more you will drink water pa? You get the point? Okay, then saliva will do also. Saliva is a form of water, mucus. Okay, so that's a form of water, then you can push, of course, it will push the rice to go inside your body, even though there's no water. This is only a tactical explanation. This is not really the word for word explanation that is gonna be happening. Okay, you got the point every day of our lives. You get the point. So things like that. So water plus CO2, and then you balance the chemical reaction after that. Okay. So I think you're gonna produce let's say 6 moles of carbon dioxide like that. You balance the equation, blah blah blah, so on. So that's not our topic as long as we introduce the general formula. So it will take time to balance, but okay, you get the point. Because that is only rapid oxidation, is easy, right? Okay, you get the point. Or combustion. Combustion is not literal, ha? When you say combustion, it doesn't mean only for hydrocarbons. Okay. Biomolecules also can undergo combustion if you really add oxygen. That is only rapid oxidation. Get the point? Carbon dioxide and water. You get the reciprocal of combustion. Blank is the inverse of combustion. Your answer will be photosynthesis. Okay. But it depends on the choices, but go to the nearest, the nearest answer. So that's basic principles, okay? You get the point. So we have the water here, okay? So we need to balance. Now, if we say ribose and ribulose, 5 carbon atoms. So I will prove you why it becomes C5H10O5. So N atoms 5, so C5, okay? H2O, and then N is 5, okay? So it's algebra, multiplication, distribution, okay? So C5, so C times 5, C5. So 2 times 5, 10. So H, 10. Oxygen times 5, so 5. That's why C5H10O5. Okay, that is the formula of ribulose sugar and ribose sugar. Okay, that's very clear. If you have the same formula bingo, you can have different sugars if you want. From the basic to the higher sugar. What do we call this one? Pentose, hexose, heptose, pentose. Nakakaloka. Meron ba ganun? Nonanose. Nonanose, meron. Dinose. Dunose. Pattern. Okay, may buka rin yung existent pag it's dili. Okay, you got the point. Ethos. Nakakaloka. Hindi mo na makakumon sa show. Pero I'm just telling you pattern. I'm not telling you existent or not. Okay? Kaya masudlan sa banga si Kuan God, si Trios, tetros, pentos, heptos, heptos, these are sugars. So mapasok na sila sa banga. So there's a possibility, mapasok po to sila sa banga, pero not always used, not common. You got the point? Ganon. Okay, na ako nang i-determine na kung aldose sugar ba siya. Okay. Nakakaloka. Diba? So, aldose guys coming from aldehyde. Okay. So, ang itong general formula sa aldehyde. Okay, carbon, double bond oxygen, and then H here and R here. So, if you say ribose, so follow this pattern. Put 5 carbon. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, we're referring to ribose first, Okay, because ribose are aldose sugar. Okay, from aldehyde. Okay, so follow this pattern. See, you gotta point like that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is CH2OH. Okay, CH2OH is seen as single bond hydrogen, and OH here. So CH2OH. No need to break down. Okay, very easy, right? Okay, CH2OH. And then, like this is the R. This is H2OH, this is the R. Things like that, okay? And where's your H? Your double bond oxygen here. This is the normal power of OH. Okay? Like, H and OH dayon. Okay? Muna itinig sa sugar, H and OH, naguna siya sa suit sa mga carbon-carbon tubas. Okay, you got the point. So this is the ribose. Ganon. Okay, ribose. Okay. So it is in the carbon number 2, Carbon number 2, that I can identify the ribose. Okay. Carbon number 2, ribose. Okay. Ganon. So if you try to put the Haworth, the OH will be at the bottom. Haworth meaning the cyclic formula. Later, this is also the cyclic formula, the chain, the like a pentagon, like that, or the polygon. Okay, I'm going to share ribose. Now it will become a deoxyribose. I need to discuss the deoxyribose because this is needed in our DNA. Okay, deoxyribose. We need sugar which is deoxyribose. Okay, so this deoxyribose, the OH will be, will be reversed here. Always take note, it is in the carbon number 2. The counting starts from the top. Okay, so with the OH will be reversed in the carbon number 2, that's already deoxyribose, which is used in our DNA. And then if it will not be reversed, that is used in our RNA, ribonucleic acid. Okay, ito the point. So, muna siya ribose. So, si ribose is an aldose sugar. Okay. So, we need to say, our DNA and our RNA needs aldose sugar to be activated. Okay, in combination with the phosphate group and prescribed arrangement of amino acids and nucleotides base pairing. Get the point? You got the point? Ano siya kung DNA? Ganun kag nitrogen, guys. Makabuang. Charot! Okay, now we have the ketose sugar. Okay, so si glucose, klaro kayong aldose sugar si glucose. Aldose. Okay. One na examination na, give example of an aldose sugar. Give at least 3 examples of aldose sugar. So nga. Okay, a chemical engineer or BS chemistry graduate. Get the point and don't know how to enumerate types of sugars like that. Okay, get the point. So we should stand up by our profession. And in a way, not all, because not all are gifted, but you know, it depends on our efforts. Get the point. We should be thankful because there's no enumeration and essay in the board examination. Okay, things like that. So we have, okay, ketose sugar. Mo na ang ketose, guys, mga ketosis is the metabolism that involves the breaking down of ketosis sugars, like that. That's why the process is known as ketosis. Because of ketosis sugars na ipinaguhugutan. Okay? Ganon! Uy, mga ako sa tanin nyo, uy! Charot! Nakakaloka. Hello mga palangga kong hitag! Ako na yung carbohydrates kay sus, gino ko kung may carbohydrates, saon lang, mamatay tang tanan. Okay, medyo mahimo. Mukhaon sa tagkanon. Ang kasagaran, mukhaon sa tagkanon. Akong sabto, may sa kaon-kaon, nakasabot sa itong ikaon. Diba? Kitag kaon, nakasabot sa itong ikaon. Asa pa dong? Huwag kalibutan kasi padulungan sa itong ikaon. So atong ikuan, atong i-discuss. Charach! Ganon! Diba? Nakakaloka. Diba? Kasi lang tagkao, kakaba, sa palo itong ikaan, ganon, himong tai. Adira ko to, tai lang himo. You should know, diba? What will be the effect? Ganon! Nakakaloka. Ganun talaga, yes. We should know asa pa ingon atong ikaon. Charot! Diba, mga palangga kong hitad? Wow! Oh my gosh! Ang anak ni Janice! O di bakit ako mahuman ha? Charach. Charach lang. O di ba? Hello guys! Muna niya akong dinner. Shaking, 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 shaking. Because shaking, shaking, shaking. Charach. O ganon. These are carbohydrates. Ganon. Di ba? Nakakaloka. Di ba mga palangga kong hitad? Ganon. O di ba? Monosodium glutamate. Makabuang. Charot. Charot na. Wow! O di ba? Nakakaloka. Uy, once a month kakuha ni guys. Once a month. Okay. Suwat sa mga note ko sa mga once a month, 2 a month nga pagkaon. Yung ilisa sa notebook. Charach! Okay? So twice every 2 months, like that. Okay? Para sa para sa kinaiyahan o kaugmaon. Charot! Diba? Monitor kaayo. Bongga! Oh, kali. Ang diba? akong ngita. Ganon. Balik. Okay? Ang ribulose. Ribulose is very important because the enzyme known as, Ribose. Okay, Ribulose 1,5-biphosphate carboxylase oxygenase. This enzyme used to fix the carbon in the atmospheric carbon dioxide in our atmosphere that's coming in the plants. Something like that. You get the point? And it will be fixed, things like that, and it will be used in the Calvin cycle to produce the main source of energy for the cells to be used for us, all photosynthetic organisms. We are also photosynthetic organisms, We will not die without the light of the sun. We will die without the light of the sun. So, all living organisms, including human being, is a photosynthetic organism. So, for our growth, we need this Ribose enzyme to produce our main energy for our cells inside our body. And these are the food. The food are basically coming from the, glucoses, things like that, carbohydrates or whatever. Okay, then the Ribose is very important for this process. Okay, this will be discussed in biology under Calvin cycle. Okay, get the point. So this is another version of the photosynthesis, obtaining adenosine triphosphate, but this also is very important in producing energy. Okay, you got the point? Yung anak siya mga palangga akong hitan. Okay. So, muna ang ribulose, importante kayo siya, The same also with the, so all of them are good for the health. The ribulose and the ribose sugar. So it's not the same with glucose that there's a negative effect in our health if too much. It's not also the same with fructose because it will inhibit the nutrients and vitamins to function very well if too much also fructose level, things like that. Okay? You get the point. So these types of sugars are very good. Meaning built in through natural process. Di lang siya sikate, huwag gitudlo, right? Okay. So you get the point. Things like that. So we have the ribulose. The ribulose is a ketose sugar. So from the functional group ketone. So what is the functional group ketone? Like this. C, double bond oxygen, then R, R. R is the side chain or the alkyl group. Okay? That's the point. Iwala mo lang i-follow guys. Okay? So, okay. So, so dili kay pagsabot guys kung malinaw kasi mong ibuhat. Okay? So let's say carbon, double bond oxygen, single bond R, 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 like that. Okay? R is the alkyl group. Alkyl means composed of carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms. Okay, that's R. So this is only hypothetical representation. Okay? You get the point. So, keto sugar man ang ribulose, no? Okay. Keto sugar. So, we need to have to put 5 carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take note, okay, the double bond of keto sugar, carbon number 2. The double bond of the alkyl sugar is in the first carbon. Okay. So like that. So this is double bond here, oxygen. Ganon. O, di ba? CH2OH. Ibo dyan hinumduman ang CH2OH. Pariho yung taas o tumoy. Top, bottom, lagi siya CH2OH. Para di ka mag-ibog. Okay? Like that, and these are all OH. OH. Ang OH, sa natural process, nagila siya sa left half. Muna siya ipang tawag D or alpha. If you see chemical starts with D, that is that natural formula. But if it will become an L, so that's the structure that is synthesized already through different processes like that. Okay, you get the point. Okay, so D and F. So D glucose, L glucose. So the glucose we eat every day is D glucose. We don't put D only because it's understood. You get the point. But if you try to be strict on the orientation, examination, what example of the orientation of a glucose we eat every day? So our answer will be D. D glucose. Capital D, okay? Naman sa L glucose. Get the point. So ang mga D glucose or any type of sugar, ang yung OH nasa right. Okay, ang mga L nasa left. So meaning to say, so the D glucose and the L glucose are, enantiomer with each other. Is another term also, enantiomer with each other. What do you mean by enantiomer? Meaning to say, the same chemical formula, but it will act as a mirror image, the reverse. Just like when we are having the mirror in front of us, so the mirror image of us is the same like that also in principle with this. Okay, D-glucose and L-glucose are, L-glucose is a mirrored image of D-glucose, meaning enantiomer. Okay, so meaning ang enantiomer, guys, more siya on appearance, like that, but the same chemical formula. And also, different structure formula, because gibalin ako ng OH. Okay, you got the point? So, once it will be reversed, then the structural formula is no longer the same. You get the point? So we will formulate another definition. Enantiomer compounds have the same general chemical formula but differ in their structural orientation, and it's a mirror image of one substance over the other. So you can create your own definition, not by the book, because you understand really what is an enantiomer. Okay. Dili siya literal mga images sa buhon nga maujud ni. So you can you can play around terminologies in your definition para masabtan jud. Okay? You got the point. So muna siya ang keto sugar. Muna siya ang ribulose na gamit kayo sa pagproduce ng energy para sa atong mga cells. Okay. Ganon. Hindi siya metabo guys, so wala si Ribose ha. Ribulose 1,5-biphosphates carboxylase oxygenase. Ganon. Sosyalan. Okay, mo gini siyang enzyme ng produce of energy ha. Okay, uwa ni ngangan, ito mabuhi. You get the point? So meaning to say, biology and chemistry are essential for healthy living. We don't need physics to live. We only need biology and chemistry to live. Okay, to survive in the planet Earth. If you have the oxygen, if you have the water, if you have the food, kalas. Okay, we don't need energy na mga force, pressure, fraction, like that. Okay, flow with flow. That's studied by the physics. So meaning to say, physics is just only an additional. Okay, that is not really the basic concept how to survive. It's always biology and chemistry. Get the point? Kana lang daan, pasok na sa banga. Because all medical science and health science also comes from biology and chemistry. Regarding the food, that is biology. Regarding for the medicines, the chemical reactions, that's chemistry. So that we can produce drugs, medicines, that is chemistry already from biology. So kanilang duha, mag-asawa, biology and chemistry, taog na, pwede na tang 200 years old, like that, okay? Later will be follow mga anatomy, physiology, epidemiology, health science, nutrition. Mupalo na natin ng basta biology o chemistry. Okay? Ganun. So not necessarily physics. Ha! Ako yung nag-equal sa inyong mga brain cells. Did you ang physics, guys? Ang physics, kinahanglan mo to fly an airplane. If there's no physics, the car cannot move. Okay? But that's an object. That's not us. Okay? We mean us. Not a car. Not an airplane. So for me, I will live now. I can walk. Okay, I can eat. I don't need physics just to eat. Okay, I need biology and chemistry. Because that's substances already. But if you fly an airplane, that's physics. But airplane is an object, not a human being. Or a motor pump is an object. A rotary pump is an object. A rotating machine and equipment is an object. That is not human being. You got the point? So that's why we don't really need physics in order for us to live. We can also live without that. So the main important subjects all over the world are biology and chemistry. So through that, medical science and health science will follow. And even physics also will get some theory of chemistry regarding exothermic reactions, endothermic reactions, and things like this. Okay, molecules, because they are also dealing with ideal gas laws there. Okay, so kung kayo mo piyang si physics o mga theory sa chemistry, alam kaya, Okay, sa katong mga kuan, mga thermodynamic properties, galing nila sa chemistry tanan ng thermodynamics. Okay? Though dili kay siya grabe ang mga competition, pero naagi na siya sa chemistry book. Sa last part, mag-discuss na siya mga physical chemistry, organic chemistry, thermodynamics, fluid flow, physics, but not in detail, but the basics. Sa last page sa inyong general chemistry lecture. O ba yung last page sa general chemistry lecture na book? May buong mo, nag-discuss na siya gamay mga physics, organic chemistry, physical chemistry, fluid flow, unit operation, like that, okay, chemical kinetics, but in a basic way lang, kasi nakafocus siya sa chemical na siya. Okay, you got the point. Ganon. Muna siya prerequisite siya sa science subjects, ha? Ang chemistry, not necessarily also biology. Okay, because because engineering are not studying with substances. Okay? Engineering are not studying with food. This is the weak areas of engineering graduates. They are not familiar with foods and substances. That's why mga nagkukintiyan. Okay, after 50, 60, mga matay na yun. You get the point, okay? Grabe kayo mga cancer sa liver, like that. Engineer lagi, pero dili kayo mamatay. You get the point, okay? Wala mas like study of substances, study of food. Always lang sa mga process, sa mga design, gano'n. Sa physics, sa process, gano'n lang. So how about the food? Na importante kayo sa itong kinabuhi. Diba? So it's better to nudge yung mga biology, health science, medical, ang mga engineers, not only sa kanang mga math, kay mo. Ang math, di mo na makakuha ng math, mabuhi man tagoy math. Really, we can survive without math. Okay. Get the point? Okay. So, layo na kayo na sa science and math. Because, even though without math, we can live through science. Mabuhit na tagway kwarta. Basta na science, mananom lang ta. Okay, mga lagot mo, kamote, like that. Okay, way kwarta, sige, guna, tumutubo na siya. Mupulos na siya mga fruits sa inyong garden, wala kayo palit-palit ang pagkaon kung na kayo mga prutos sa inyong garden, di ba? So, that's gonna be did yun siya yung though, kinanglanan siya lang panahon ng kwarta, pero kung imo yung tugkaron, mabuhi lang yung tagway kwarta. Okay, kinay mga lagot mo sa akong paligid. You get the point? Yan na dahil oxygen atong give breath na dahil tubig daan. Okay, you get the point? Tubig daan meaning na natural water sa mga river, mga kanon. Okay, you get the point? Kanang mga tinugdan sa mga kwa. Pwede ba na nun? Kaloka. O, diba? Okay, diba? Wala siya keto sugars guys ha? Kaysa ano siya? Si Ribulose. Si fructose, is that an aldohexose sugar or sa keto sugar? Mostly siya ang theory guys. This is also the theory guys that why the keto sugar will be born second. Because the double bond is in the carbon number 2. It's not easy to burn the sugars if the double bond is in the carbon number 2, carbon number 3, carbon number 4. But glucose, the double bond of the carbon is in the number 1 carbon. So it's easy to burn the glucose first. Okay, that can be explained also with science. The same with the fats and oils. So the technique are the bands. Okay, the chemical energy bands. BONDS. Okay, you got the point? So muna siyang dili kay siya mabonda yun kay ang yung double ba na kung sa ika-carbon number 2 napagoy primero di doon sa kung niya born ang kuan una. You got the point? So muna masitag born ang glucose, mabilin na dyan ang mga ketoses. Okay, muna work ang ketoses kung mag-fasting ta. Okay? Intermittent fasting, okay, like that, or ketogenic diet. Mabitag kita mga ketogenic diet because of ketose sugars. Ketogenic diet. Di ba? Keto. So that's coming from the ketone group. Formula is one. Ketone. Gipotol. Ketogenic. Ganon. Okay, di ba? Genic is coming from the gene. No, ketogenic diet. Ganon. Kaya ang gene needs man og asukar. Muna to ang katungkuhan. Deoxyribose to ribose. Muna ketogenic diet. Okay, na may gene. G-E-N-E. Gisumputan mo ang keto sa ang genes, ketogenic da yun. Ganon. Okay, you got the point? Diba? Muna mag-ketogenic diet da yun. So, muna siya. Get the point? Ang fructose guys is a keto sugar, ha? So, awit siya maborn. Maguna ang mga carbohydrates, kanang mga mga pan, mga usa na diha, okay, mga milk bread, mga white bread, mga kapush, mga white rice mo. Muuna na siya born. Secondary rin ng mga fructose. Okay, na ang double bond man good, what sa carbon number 1. Okay, you get the point. Ana siya. Any questions so far? Ato nga sabtan ang sugar, wala pa jud. Sige mo to naman ito yung formula sa kuan guys, sa ribose ug sa kuan ug sa ribulose. Now guys, kung even ko L, give me a formula of D ribulose. Say na kayo no. Ang L ribulose siguro to ibaliktad ang OH muna to. Di ba? Okay, hasta ang ribose ibaliktad doon. Ang importante nga kabaw ka o say aldose o say ketose nga ganon. Okay. Mo nang that's why we have dihydroxyacetone. Dihydroxyacetone sugar is a keto sugar. So you will be wondering why it's a sugar is it looks like an acetone. Acetone is pent removal like that. Okay, so it's gonna be or ink removal. That's the purpose of acetone, right? So it's very possible that it will become a sugar. You cannot intake that, but the name itself, dihydroxyacetone, is the same with acetone. So you will never imagine, what? Dihydroxyacetone is a sugar? Yes, it's a sugar. Okay, get the point. It's a substance, not the same with acetone, but there's a term acetone the same in the terminology. So we should be careful also in scrutinizing the terminology, okay? Ganon. And yung bana-banaa is scrutinize Jude. Okay? Anak siya mga talaga akong hitan. Okay? Any questions so far? So, anaon din natin pag-storyay. Okay, charot. Okay. The building block of carbohydrates are the monosaccharides. Okay. Monosaccharides are sugars. Okay. These are glucose, okay, galactose, and fructose. Okay. Meaning mono. Okay. Simple sugars. Again, simple sugars are glucose, galactose, fructose. Simple sugars are called monosaccharides. So that's why we said the building block of carbohydrates are monosaccharides. Then if you try to be specific, the building block of carbohydrates could either be a glucose, a galactose, a fructose, but popular ang glucose. That's why to avoid confusion, the book states that it should be monosaccharide lang siya, so that there will be no confusion which among glucose and galactose and fructose will be used. But some books are adapting the glucose. The building blocks of carbohydrates are glucose, like glucoses, like that. But it's still confusion because there's also another monosaccharides, like the lactose, the fructose, blah blah blah. Okay, so that's why the building blocks of life are monosaccharides, sugars, which is basically glucose, the lactose, fructose. Okay. So where is the sucrose now, the refined sugar now here? The refined sugar, the table sugar that we have is not a simple sugar, it's not a monosaccharide, it's a disaccharide, meaning adding two monosaccharides to become sucrose. What is our component of sucrose? So sucrose is equal to fructose plus galactose. Things like that, okay? Okay, we must review this again. Mag-start, let's go to disaccharides. Disaccharides are lactose, maltose, okay, and lactose. Okay, get the point. So, lactose, maltose. Okay? Ganon. Get the point mo siya mga disaccharides. Okay? So, sucrose, maltose, and lactose. Disaccharides na siya ay magkaligog ha. Okay, meaning adding of two monosaccharides. Okay, got the point. So, ana siya ay, okay, white sugar, okay, white sugar, or the table sugar, or the refined sugar. Ito siya pangalan guys, no? White sugar, refined sugar, processed sugar, table sugar, sugar cane. So these are the 5 names of the white sugar we have in our kitchen. Okay? So, and then the specific name is sucrose. Okay? So para way libog, sucrose na lang ay yun. Okay? Para dagang kayo mo angkol. Di man kag refined sugar, processed sugar, table sugar, sugar cane, table sugar. If you have the table salt, you have also the table sugar. Things like that. Okay? So white sugar sucrose is equal to fructose plus glucose. Okay. So muna siya, ang imong sucrose, fructose, coming from the fruit named cane, C-N-E, tubo. So all types of fruits will produce fructose, right? So fructose plus glucose is equal to sucrose. So yung maglibog bang kakay, usually what are the sugars found in fruits? So if it will not be mentioned specifically, your answer will be fructose. But if it will mention specifically, it depends on the type of fruit na talaga siya. You're trying to consider. For example, what is the type of sugar obtained in a cane? The sugar cane. So mo rin na siya ang sucrose. Di po kami mga fructose ra. Kailangan siya glucose. Fructose plus glucose is equal to sucrose. Di mo na pwede ang punong ra ni glucose o ni fructose ra kay duha man ang combination. So safe siya kung ingon ka nga kuan. Sucrose. What sugar found in the sugar cane is sucrose. O di ba? Pero gi-process na rin ang sucrose. What I mean, ang fructose good ang glucose na aning sugar cane. Get the point. Kaya kanang putas naman ay fructose good. The other ang glucose. Okay, get the point. But not all have glucose ha. Not all fruits have glucose. But some have, but specifically the cane, naging siya glucose o fructose. Okay, muna siya sucrose. O sasabi yung formula sa itong lactose. Okay, muna sa mga milk. Okay, lactose is equals to ganon, galactose plus glucose. Okay, galactose for glucose. Imuti man ang GG. Galactose for glucose niya. Imuti man ang sa sucrose FG. Right? During your memorization, it's easy to memorize. Okay? Then, maltose. Maltose is a sugar from fermentation industry, beverage fermentation or malt. Malt, M-A-L-T. Okay? Like that. So, maltose is equals to lactose. Sorry. Glucose plus glucose. GG gapon. Glucose plus glucose. But ibalik lang GG pero glucose na siyang tanan. Okay? To the point, ano yun ha? Okay? So ganito, maltose is equal to galactose plus glucose. Lactose is equals to glucose plus glucose. So imo ko man na guys, ang duha rin ang lactose lagi gibalik-balik. Ano ka? Lactose, glucose plus glucose dayon. Ganon. Okay nga. May nga sucrose, dito siya fructose kit. Ang tubo, prutas baya. Fructose plus glucose dayon. Okay, then ang nabilin mo na to, maltose, galactose, and glucose. Hindi man siya magbalik-balik yung term. Yung GG baya. Dali ka memorize na mo na kayo. Okay? Para mo pasok baka nang kuan tiguang na kay ka, makasigulag yan kung ka, Sotero say kuan say meaning ng lactose. Yeah. Pwede na ka mo answer bisag tinga na ka. Okay, bisag kuan na kag tiguang nung kay ka maka-answer diyan ko kay mong gipilit sa imong brain cells may ana nga mga technique ba in understanding and memorization. Okay? Ganon. So sa imong part sa imong frontal lobe of your cerebral vortex where your memory, thinking, ganda, di ba? Let's say your quick thinking, memory, emotions, and problem solving are stored. Okay, mo na siya part sa imong brain cells sa imong cerebral vortex. So, nakastore ang mga memory. Ganon. Okay, that's the point. Talaga. Yes. Nakakaloka. O, diba? Ini ko siya so far mo pa lang akong hitag. Wala na. Dapat ko gamay yung oras. Thank you so much for watching this video. Ribulose and ribose, klaro na akong pag-differentiate, di ba? Okay, recap. Ribose is a sugar needed in ribonucleic acid and also needed in our DNA. Okay, so it's very, very impossible to survive without DNA and RNA in our body because we need genes, genetic information. Okay, we cannot produce baby without genetic information, this DNA and RNA. You get the point? So meaning to say, the world will not multiply if there's no DNA and RNA. Okay, you get the point. So we need deoxyribose sugar and ribose sugar. Okay, deoxyribose sugar for the DNA and ribose sugar for the RNA. Okay, you got the point. So these are all aldose sugar. Okay, with single double bond in carbon. First carbon atom at the top. Ganon. And then ribulose is very important also to produce, the main source of energy for our cells. In order for all photosynthetic organisms will grow as it is, as they will function properly, live happily ever after in the planet Earth. So this is gonna be the function of ribulose sugar. And then the enzyme is very important for this, the Ribulose. Take note, Ribulose, 1,5-biphosphate carboxylase oxygenase. Diyan ako siya kalimutan guys, ganun ko musulti, carboxylase oxygenase. Okay? Like that. You got the point? Okay. And then this is very, very important in the Calvin cycle also in producing energy, I told you over and over again. And then also, it's related to the Krebs cycle also in the production of citric acid in that cycle. That's why fruits and plants are coming in the planet Earth because there's what we call a Krebs cycle or citric acid cycle. So without this also, we will not live because our food coming from the plants. The rice, like this, everything. Okay, the rice, the cabbage, the bread are coming from the plants. And plants cannot survive without the citric cycle. You get the point? So, ang mga tinugdan, muna itong sabdon. You get the point? So, muna siyang importante sa ribulose. Okay? So, klaro ka siyang mga importante ng mga sugar. So, these are more important than the sugar we have in our kitchen. Okay? Like the sugar in the milk we have. Okay? Because it's okay also to have lower milk sugar of that milk, lactose. But you can never remove the deoxyribose and the ribose in your DNA and RNA. It stays there. It will never be burned. It will be just replaced, but it will never be born. Things like that because it can be used in another synthesis of another biochemical reaction inside your body. Okay, di siya mahimong waste product ba? Di ba? How amazing is that? The deoxyribose and the ribose will just retain in your body and it will never become a waste product. Unlike the glucose, fructose, lactose, maltose, galactose, it will be burned and produced in the waste product. So these deoxyribose are very, very good, right? Okay, you got the point? But this coming also from the carbohydrates kasi. Okay, you got the point? Nakakaloka sa mga plants. With the point, ganun nakakaloka. Diba? So, muna siya. Ribose versus ribulose sugar. Ganun. Any question so far? Okay, wala na. Okay. Ako na ingon nyo guys, nakakanap itong mga caterpillar, kanakana itong mga uod. Diba? The backbone is made also of sugar. Okay, the sugar is known as chitin. Okay, chitin sugar is applicable for the insects as their backbone. Caterpillar like that. And the chitin is a polysaccharide sugar that is also used in surgical operation in the thread. The raw material of a surgical operation thread is a chitin sugar. That's why it will be decomposed after how many months? Okay, 3 months, 4 months. That type of thread used in surgical operation, that is chitin. Is sugar also, right? So there's a lot of usage of sugar, and not all can be eaten. So others can be used as raw materials only. You get the point? Just like cellulose. Okay. Chocolate cellulose. Cellulose is the most abundant organic compound in the planet Earth. Cellulose. Okay, taas kaya na siya molecular weight. It's higher than uranium. Yes, yeah, uranium. Diba? Radioactive. Because compound na kasi siya. But if you try to say which of the following is a heavier metal, that could be uranium because it is an element only. But if you try to say compound, cellulose is heavier than a uranium. It depends on the question kasi eh. If the question was which metal or which element has the highest molecular weight or the heaviest, you will answer uranium. But if the question will say, which is the heaviest compound? So your answer will be cellulose. Okay? Ikat na po na siya mga technique asa ni mo answer. Marasag ka, which is the most abundant element in the planet Earth? So oxygen po ang answer. Okay? Kaya abundant man ang isgutan, dili man ang iyang weight. Abundancy. Okay? You got the point? So that's why oxygen is very reactive because it is abundant. You got the point? In fact, we will die without oxygen. Get the point? Muna siya nahitabo. What is muna siyang the most abundant element in the planet Earth, ang oxygen. Ganan. Diba? So, atong timanan ang mga kapatid, magawas na sa mga science quiz bowls, mga science competition. Diba? Ganan. So, apil-apilin mo, anak, para makadaog mo. Char! Okay, thank you so much for watching for this science vlog, the biochemistry, biology, chemistry. Thank you so much, and health science also as well. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. I hope you can click the notification bell for some US updates on the CNG voice. Bye bye. God bless everybody. See you later. Kaloka.